what started out as the International Afro-American Museum, located in a mobile trailer over half a century ago, it's known as one of the largest institutions of its kind in the country.
To celebrate its 60th anniversary, the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History created an expedition that tells the story of how the museum came to be.
April Morton shares it with us.
Most people have heard of the beautiful Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, located in Detroit's Cultural Center area. After all, until recently, it was the largest museum of its kind. But what some may not know is the origin of how the museum came to be. Through a new exhibition, guests will learn about that and the man behind the name.
Dr. Charles H. Wright is the museum's founder. He founded the museum in 1965. He was a doctor of obstetrics and gynecology who was also really fascinated by African American history.
That history, which lines the exhibit halls of the 125,000 square foot museum, celebrates the cultural legacy of African Americans, which was a dream of Dr. Wright. The exhibition, I, Charles H. Wright, walks you through his journey in bringing that dream to fruition.
And so from his voice, he tells the story of when he was born, his childhood, why he wanted to be a doctor, how he got into civil service and being an advocate during the civil rights movement.
Before planting roots in Detroit, Dr. Wright was born in 1918 in racially segregated Alabama, where he faced many challenges and roadblocks in being granted equal opportunities. Even in college, where at the time only 2 medical schools allowed Black students. But through it all, he persevered and became very involved with civil rights, offering services anywhere they were needed.
Also a civil servant, and in his travels providing medical care all around the world, he learned about the culture of museums and the ways that different communities would translate their culture and their history into a formal building that is a museum. And he learned about this concept, and so when he came home, he thought, this would really be great for the Detroit community to capture our culture in a more formal building like a museum.
Starting out with his own collection, the beginning of Dr. Wright's museum journey was in the basement of his Detroit home. Quickly outgrowing that space and an extension, the next location would be in a building on the College of Creative Studies campus in Midtown. It wouldn't be long before that space was also outgrown.
And so Coleman A. Young really petitioned to have a really large African American museum.
Before his death in 2002, Dr. Wright was able to see his dream come true with the museum, which now stands, opening in 1997. Now the staff is celebrating 60 years since the museum's inception and says they're hopeful for 60 more in continuing Dr. Wright's legacy.
The I, Charles H. Wright exhibition runs through January 17th. 2026 in celebration of its 60th anniversary. The museum will hold special events throughout the year. Now, before the Smithsonian opened in D.C., this was the largest African American museum in the entire country, so it's something to be celebrated,
exactly.
right?
And it's amazing to learn its history, too.
Yeah.
I had no idea it started off that way.
I know.